Well, if you notice, I've got my got a lighter, so I can enjoy some tea this morning. Bit of a ritual, like to select and kind of get it out. Just kind of rocks up like a little bouquet of flowers. And you can kind of sit down and it just kind of gets you focused on probably a positive direction, if you allow it. And it got me thinking because I'm enjoying, I'll show you in a second, I'm just loading up my inhaler here. Just enjoying this morning. It's pretty good. Not my favourite, but pretty good. Boss Suntory. Suntory. You sound Suntory. Good. Yeah, what I said about Japan getting wet. I didn't mean that as derogatory or anything. I meant that in a positive sense. I thought it was pretty clear. What we're going to need with this tea, because it is a high value kind of, you'd have to fucking steal a whole lot of it. It's a big old effort for not a lot. It's not really that valuable. It takes up a lot of space. It's heavy and it smells and it's flammable. Anyway, all these fucking factors that makes it absolutely stupid to want to steal. There's a whole lot of better things to steal, like jewelry and shit. It's probably better to steal. But it's also easy to hide, so that's a consequence of scale and value. But anyway, what I was talking about is I need security, and I thought, well, this coffee's pretty good. And I thought, who's the best security in the world? And I thought, well, that'd be samurais. So I'm going to need about 10 of them, 10 samurais. Yeah. 10 samurais would be handy. And I trust that these samurais will not be used against me. Because I love Japan. I love Japanese culture. It has helped me probably the most. It was the seed. And the seeds are fucking important. If you don't have a seed, you can't grow a tree. And so that's why I need 10 samurais. Or samurai. I don't think, it's not samurais, it's not plural like that. It's samurai. I need 10 samurai on horses to help me with my ventures into tea distribution. Even if they're ready to be samurai, they don't need to be finished. I could probably teach them the stepping stones to get most of the way there, I assume. Yeah. I just got to get a horse. And yet to have a proper horse. Although I did have a horse, it was a car for all of the learning impaired dimwits. It was my van. Oh, it's been a few cars. It's mainly been 2 cars. It's been my little white Toyota, which is Japanese. And it was my Mercedes Benz. But it started in Japan! So it's gonna fucking end in Japan. Alright? So I need my Toyota 86 And I need 10 samurai. If this tea is going to make it on time, which is like, say, it's like now, isn't it? It's like a year from now, at that, for then. Right, like, then. Ship arrives, clipper ship arrives, samurai get off, discuss business. Beautiful. The crew celebrate their first successful delivery with a nice Boss iced coffee. Pretty good. I reckon that job that Labor offered to them about the sheep, like, you've got to pay me the projected lifetime of that position. Like, you were going to pay someone a salary. It's like, hang on, that's not a salary job. That's a salary man. Ask the Japanese about a salary man. Yeah, how long did you expect that job to take him? You said it was an impossible job. How long was it going to take him? 20 years at that amount of money? Well, just pay me that. We'll call it even. Not even in, we're not even getting the pay increases based on inflation or anything like that. I just did it and fucking, that's the job done then, cunts. Isn't it? Send me that much money. All my samurais are going to come pay all of you a visit when they arrive. A projection of strength is not violence. Yeah. It needs to be like legal. You used to fucking want to get this sorted out. Otherwise, based on what West Australia did, it's like, well, I'll just get a violence restraining order on the entire fucking state government. The government was allowed to project power in order to get us to do something against our will, or try to coerce us. That's rape. It's like, it's not quite rape. It's forcing consent. It's fucking, you know what I mean? It's heavy-handed tactics. Because something that doesn't need that. The fear of the thing was enough. The fact you went all the way, you kept going. Past 50%. If you push past 50%, that's not, it's fucking force. That's what, if you imagine a line, if someone's trying to push me, like, can do things, they're giving me a little thing, they're like, oh yeah, fucking they're starting on you, right? Generally, you walk back. I do. I'm like, I don't want any of this. I don't want to fucking get involved in this. Fucking da-da-da-da-da. There's a line. And usually that's enough. People that don't understand that line keep pushing past that line, and that's when they get their fucking teeth knocked out. Anywhere in the world. And usually they only do that once or twice because they learn the lesson by having to go and pay the dentist all that money to get their fucking teeth put back in. It's pretty fucking simple. Yeah? We weren't quiet about the fact that we were a line. And then you left us in a position where we had to physically retaliate with a fucking growing army of police going on. And an incompetent system of justice that would have taken a couple of years to sort out the mess of the fucking dungeon, which is what they were. Dungeons that you stuck us in. They weren't prisons. They weren't jails. They weren't organised systems of things. They were dungeons that you stuck us in. because some overlords in the US told you to do it. Each region is autonomous, include down to state level. We went down to state level, and that's where they would have started, their lips would have started watering, because it was a test. They were like, let's see if we can get it to state level. Okay, we've done it in the US. Let's see if we can get it to state level in somewhere like Australia, where the states are far larger. Isn't that efficient? It took a long time to individually do each state in the US, and that's why this rollout happened in the way that it did. There was no effect. There was a marketing push, a marketing offensive that tested carefully into each market and pushed in as if it was a software company or a beverage company. Not this one. This one's quite good. Because they didn't put a gun to my head and tell me that if I didn't buy it, I'd lose every single fucking thing in my life. And that's why when the 10 samurais arrive, we'll all be drinking Boss. A wizard drinker Boss is Boss good. Is Boss good? Yes, the Boss good. Like that. I was thinking Japan was lost, and then I found the Boss are good. Oh yeah, but I could do these ads. See? Isn't it fucking wonderful? Mr. Miyagi was like a fucking 80-year-old man, and he's in the collective consciousness of billions and billions of people. Mr. Miyagi. Never give up faith. Especially if you've just fucking started. If you've just started, you've really got to do a lot of listening. A lot of listening. Like, if you'd want, you know what I mean? Like, basically, yeah. A lot of observation as well. You got to like be like on the lookout for opportunities. They're everywhere. Yeah. Become an archer for opportunities. That's your target. And think and be disciplined like you were an archer. Opportunities are everywhere. Learn to hone your body, like your entire fucking thing, to this opportunity to see it. So when you get it, your whole body perch it, like every fucking thing just strikes up. Oh, there is one. That is what we've always been doing. We went really bad when we started hunting people. So hunt opportunity. And then as you get better, you get more efficient. So you'll get just single opportunities you'll pass by, which is kind of like a roadside pickup. You go, that chair could use a bit of paint and it would look amazing. Wonderful, good place to start. But as you get on, as you progress on, you will pass by. You'll be like, no, that chair is for somebody else. That chair is for the young guy out there who wants to dig in or jump into his first project or something. What I start focusing on now is mass connections. So 6 things I can move in one go that positively benefit every single person in the agreement, that stabilizes and secures and brings something of need and purpose, and just basically slices with my samurai sword, if I had one, through just the red tape, which is very thin, very old red tape normally, but with grace and a delicate touch, so that you're not demanding, you're coming in gently, like, hang on, well, how about this? What about if we do these things in this series of order, in one big go? Will this benefit all these key players? Now, in early days, you've got to do all these things. you've got to go and talk to the guy that has the chair. You've got to give him the money. You've got to go to the bank, which maybe, I don't know, to get the money, just metaphorically. You have to then get the money, count the money, give it to the man, get the chair, go to the place, get the paintbrush. These are all the same. People are on the lookout for people that are doing things. It sticks out like a 10-bar spotlight on the horizon of a long and dark and desolate country road in Australia. Because that is really what is going on. Jump out of this place. It's not meant to be a prison or a structure. It's meant to be a launch pad for you. And just secure yourself at all times. Make sure you've got points that you've attacked. Is this okay? Is this okay? Sometimes people are going to be negative and go, no, you shouldn't really do that. That's a lot of what you've got to get used to getting through. So find people that are trustworthy, that are successful, that will give you the okay to move. And that okay is not always going to be direct. Sometimes that okay might be like, find in them when they've done something similar and then do the same. But make sure you're always secured. Keep secured. Don't lose sight of the horizon. Don't lose sight of where you've come from. Don't lose sight of where your boundaries are, where your ethical boundaries are. Rehearse them over and over and over again. What are my key points that I'm not going to cross? Like ethical boundaries will help you it will slow you down, but that slowness will one, give you the time to learn more, which will help you in the future. Two, help you build up the relationships that you'll need to pursue things at a higher scale. And three, you won't wear yourself out, so you can complete the marathon mission that you're on. So build a structure that's stable, with good foundation, with constant connections, with good engineering principles. This is going to be the Renaissance. And it's not even the Renaissance, because this is how they were built. They were just sold, and they weren't. I don't think these founders of the past could possibly project into this, what we're in now. And so their structures are very rigid, and then they've sold them on, but they didn't build in feedback to the actual structure. Based on common sense, which is why Donald Trump's common sense thing is really hitting right now, bang on, because that's the gold at the moment. That's what we're mining for. And that's how the government should optimize their systems. They need judges. The judges that they have are probably not too bad. They're being misused and overused and all this stuff. Those judges need to work in equal capacity for positive change. So people need to come and be able to give testimony about things they see. Hey, this is this and this is this, but because of this actually means that we're doing this as a net result from this action. And that, in my case, a lot of times, that's a completely negative approach to the thing that we're supposed to be doing. And I don't think that's actually the spirit of government. I think this is just there's a structure that's built. It's like, think of a electricity grid. Think if I invented a thing that was like, the magic lasso, like lasso this thing and you'll get free power. That probably exists, and it's probably a thing I could do. But that would cripple our system constantly. But it would take a while to get there. So if, say, hundreds and thousands of people could use this device, probably go without ever being known, Then there would be an anomaly picked up, and then it would be known, and then you would know what to look for, and then they would find it. And then you go into this cat and mouse game where people would try and hide it and disguise it. We're in the stage where we've just found the anomaly. We're like, hang on, there's a bunch of things attached to our grid, to our political, to our geopolitical grid that are actually leading to, and I think this is just a weird coincidence that a lot of times it will actually lead to the opposite effect. The actual inverse effect seems to appear when we systematize a system of care and then leave it unregulated, unadjudicated or without feedback, because it becomes an entropy pathway. So we'll think of it like a vein system in the human body. There's the main arterial vein, which is the government, federal government. And we stick these tubes in to kind of lay it. We're like, hey, let's look after single mothers. And this tube's there. And then parasites come in and attach right to that tube. And so it grows, but the original tube is never, like, we're like, hey, a single mother's better off now than they were when we initiated, when we first stuck that tube in there. Because net result down on the leaves, which is the individual mothers out there now, doesn't appear good. Yeah, maybe we could have, then we can do things like a census. We can go, maybe make it voluntary, but make it government. So instead of doing advertisements on television, trying to push our concepts, we do advertisements on social media that are very cheap, voluntary voting or voluntary surveys that just ask simple questions like, hey, do you think single mothers are better off now than, or do you think the measures we're doing to look after single mothers are having a net positive or a net negative end result when compared to the previous? This will get like a temperature. This will take the temperature of the population, and it will show demographics like, well, the over 80s think this, the under whatevers think this. Then we can look for massive anomalies. Like if we see massive anomalies, like young people are saying yes, old people are like, no, fuck no, no way in hell. That would be expected, right? But maybe not. Maybe it's the reverse of that. And then we need to learn to dig into that data. And that's where we need highly trained judges to judge people's arguments based on its own system. If you're the judge sitting at the top of a fucking banana republic, your value is very low. If you're the judge sitting at the top of a well-oiled, well-designed, beautifully stable, secure, striving for permanence organization, then your value is very high. So this is self-serving to this, and it's a way of, rather than maybe if you felt pressure that maybe this is pressuring the whole system. No, we're just reusing the system appropriately. If we think of the judicial system was to try and remove negative aspects of our society and take them out of society, what it's turned into is the negative aspects of our society are using the judicial system to strip mine the people. That's the exact thing it's meant to be used to not do. And those people have just gotten very good at hiding, and the judges have become trapped as slaves, as servants to the system. And these individuals, they're not government entities. A lot of times they're not national, they're foreign, plugged into our system, using our judicial system to do their dirty work. All based on just, social conformity. Which again, that social conformity, which was supposed in our school system, which was supposed to help us, is now hindering us because we are easily led using this. But the brilliant thing is that's very easy to undo. because we're easily led, and we hold, as the federal government, we hold the access to the curriculum. We're not plugging in and trying to prime using absent things. We are the curriculum. We do have the stable structure. We just need to show it. We need to go, rather than say, oh, these are whatever, we go, hey, you can train people to be these things. Instead of police officers, they become police officers to police this. It's not a wall. It's like a moat. So that we can see you trying to do this, and we are on the lookout, and you have to swim through this fucking crocodile infested moat here to get in and fuck with our citizens. And we just didn't have one. We were actually like, here, come in. Everything's open. Somehow we had a system that was defending against the people with the good ideas and with the good observations, because they will inherently look unprofessional, or they will sound, because they're in the trenches of a war that is not known. So all it took was the bare minimum of presentation in an automated, impersonal, procedural administration setup that just leaves the door open. Whereas in person, the complete adverse situation is seen. And we didn't design them this way. They've slowly just been weakened. The fact of it being a big bureaucratic, boring, kind of methodical, weird thing, it makes it undesirable for the exact people to get in there that would be able to see these things. And then even if they did, you would then have to face a kind of cohort of individuals, not lacking, but just not, they're in a, I'm just working place, I don't want to rock the boat. And they're the kind of exact wrong people to be in that position. They're the exact right people to be in kind of key managerial positions in consistent supply chains, perhaps in manufacturing or in production somewhere. Place where you don't want things to change too much. Whereas the government, if you do not allow it to change, will be hacked into. It will be parasitically drained, vampirized. Yeah. That's it for today. Thank you, boss.